Okay. Hello, all, and welcome to Sportzian's IPL's perspective. So this is Hemant, and joining me is Vignesh, a really happy fan. You can see by the jersey he's wearing already. So finally, CSK has matched my tally of 5. So Vignesh, any thoughts on that?
I think number one, it was one of the best IPLs I've ever seen. The final was an epitome of how close the IPL was. And number two, I have had a feeling CSK was going to win. But of course, I'm really happy that, especially this is a special win because number one, CSK has equaled MI tally. And number two, it has healed some of the wounds that I got after the 2019 IPL when CSK lost by 1 run.
Well, yeah, I mean I think this has been the most unpredictable IPL. Teams were not decided till the last match of the day. At least not even in the last part. Till 2 days before there was no guarantees that who was going in, who was not going in. Definitely a close fought IPL. We hope to see such kind of IPLs in the future. So guys, so what we have in store for you is like I'm sure like you have seen everybody talking about teams and stuff and all, but we've tried something different. So Vignesh.
Something new that we are trying out is the tier list. So we are going to summarize the IPL using five different categories. The first category is going to be the best individual performance. How it works is me and Hemant will give two nominations for each category. So the first category is the best individual performance. The second category is the best emerging player. The third category is a disappointment, a player who we felt could have done better. The fourth category is comebacks. We have all seen players who we thought will never perform to this level, but they have. We'll discuss more about them. And the fifth is bizarre decisions. As for each IPL, we as fans feel frustrated thinking, how come they're taking such ridiculous decisions? I mean, we ourselves as cricket fans can take better decisions. So we are just going to talk about four such decisions. So Hemant, if you're ready, we'll start.
So my top individual performance is Yashasvi Jaiswal. We've seen his potential. Everybody was talking how good Yashasvi Jaiswal is. But the only complaints, I think everybody had is, if you see last year's IPL, Jaiswal was, playing really well in the power play, and suddenly after sixth over, his strike rate drops. As if he cannot find gaps, he cannot find that boundaries as frequently as he was doing in the power play, and there was this complaint of obviously not turning the scores into big ones, which he really did in this IPL. That knock against KKR was really out of the world. I'm not sure if anybody can play. I don't think any player of his age category is as good as him right now.
And I think the biggest compliment that Jaiswal can get is he has covered up for Joss Butler's failure. Joss
Yeah.
Butler was the Orange Cap winner last year. This year he didn't perform, but nobody knew he didn't perform because Jaiswal had compensated for that. So I don't think that is any bigger compliment than that.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I feel sad for RR for not making playoffs, even though they had some really good individual performances. But yeah.
That's right. I'll move on to my best individual performance. I feel is Rashid Khan's 4 wickets and 80 odd runs against Mumbai. Mumbai had won that match after Surya Kumar scored a blitzkrieg century. But in any other match, Surya Kumar got the man of the match in that. But in any other match, that performance, you get 4 wickets and you score at a strike rate of 250 and you still end up on the losing side. Felt pretty bad for Rashid Khan, but I feel that that is probably one of the best all-round performances ever in the IPL since Chris Gale's 175 and 3 wickets back in 2013.
Well, you did not remind me about that innings. I was really hoping he wouldn't do that. The good thing about that innings was, wherever you're trying to ball to him, he had a shot. You're trying to ball shot, he was pulling. You're trying to ball a full ball, he's trying to hit that helicopter out. Wide, he's cutting the ball. It's like nobody had a clue where to ball to Rashid Khan. So yeah, and my second pick would be obviously the orange cap holder, the MVP of IPL 2023, Shubman Gill, who has been in a really red hot form. and I really hope he continues that form in the WTC final. But those were some really great statements that he's made. I mean, especially I feel the century against Bangalore in the last league match of theirs and Bangalore's. I mean, why I feel that's crucial is because GT was through. You know, they can be complacent. They could have been complacent. They could have. I mean, because win or loss, they didn't matter to them. But still, they did not, take the foot off of the gas. And Gill really showed why he's the next biggest star coming out of Indian cricket team.
And not to mention that, of course, you didn't speak about this, but I will. The innings against Mumbai, 129. I mean, it looked like a flat pitch, but not all the batsmen were pretty comfortable. Even in Mumbai's batting, quite a few struggled, except maybe for Tilak Verma. But Shubman Gill made it look like it was men against boys. It's a fantastic innings. Moving on to my next
No,
pick.
I had a one. I had one.
Okay, sorry.
If only Tim David held on to that catch, we wouldn't have been speaking about this. But yeah,
That's right. That's right. Anyways, my next pick, last but not the least, and this is going to be remembered for a long, long time, is Rinku Singh's five sixes in the last over. The best thing I like about Rinku Singh is he is not a breakaway star. He has been in the KKR circuit since 2018, and they have kept on backing him, and finally he's delivered. I mean, we all say that why is this player in the team is not performing anything, but KKR has stuck with Rinku Singh and now it's paying dividends, which I feel is one of the few things that they have done right in the last few years.
well, yeah. Even I too didn't watch that match. I've seen Ayer's wicket, Venkatesh Ayer's wicket, and I thought that it's done. I didn't expect KKR to win. And similar to you, I was just checking the score and I was like, how did this guy hit five sixes? I had to rewatch those highlights, rewatch that last over again and again just to make me believe that okay, this has happened. And yeah, I guess it's good for KKR. They've had some really good talent over the years, and and they really have some. I think it's all about having all things click for KKR now, and I think they would be a force to reckon in the coming IPLs.
We'll move on to the next category, Himan. This is the emerging players of this particular season. So I will start with our own boy, Matisha Patirana. So he, of course, played a few games last year, but since Bravo retired, everybody knows that Dhoni always wanted death bowler to fill in, and Patirana has done more than what was required. Close bond between him and MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni has told him to take care of himself by not getting involved in Sri Lanka's red ball cricket. And so he has made a promise to his family that he's under me, he's going to be in safe hands. It's a really heartwarming story.
Well, he's a great talent, Patirana. And the one thing that intrigues me about Patirana is, I mean, if you see Malinga's sling action, right? It's still above your, I mean, on par with your shoulder. Like he delivers the ball at a certain above height, but Patirana still will come still low. And I think it's really difficult for batsmen to pick that up. And the other good thing about his action is he can ball a 150 kilometers per hour ball at the same force and a 90 kilometer per hour ball at the same force. So it's really difficult for a batsman to pick it up. And I think if he can maintain bowling that speeds, with the variations he has, because Malinga didn't have that many variations to be frank. His go-to ball was a Yorker, just coming straight at your legs. But Patirana has a short ball, has a slower ball, has that Yorker. But if he can maintain that line and length, I guess I think that he would match Malinga's greatness. So my emerging player would be Mumbai's very own Tilak Varma. I mean, he has been a revelation. I mean, he has been playing since last year. He was picked it up. He was picked up at I think it was around 1.5 crore, I believe, in the auction. He has been around the IPL this team for a year now, and in the very first match against RCB, he showed what he could do. Everybody else around him was struggling to time the balls, pace the innings and stuff and all. But he scored a really good 80, quick fire 80, and at least gave a chance for MI to be in that. But the standout innings would be against GT. I mean, that was some mind-boggling hitting. That too against the purple cap holder. Taking him for 24 runs is not an easy task. Playing Shami in the power play is really not an easy task. And you can see that it's not just slogging. It's pure timing with that power. And I guess, as Rohit Sharma mentioned in an interview, Tilak Varma, Nehal Vadera are the guys, are the future of this Indian cricket team. So I hope he really goes well in the future.
My next emerging player pick is, like you said, Nehal Vadera. It's amazing how Mumbai keep churning these talents out. Tilak Varma came in last year, Nehal Vadera and Akash Madwal this year. And I like the risk that Mumbai took. They lost Bumrah, they lost Jafar Archer, their bowling was pretty bad. And instead of trying to strengthen their bowling, they said, screw it, we have brilliant batsmen, let us just back the other team out. And the ground in Mumbai also helped that they have chased so many 200 plus scores, simply relying on their batting. And Nehal Vadera has been one of the most important parts of their batting. Of course, you have Surya Kumar Yadav. Rohit Sharma, Nishan Kishan have been hot and cold, more cold than hot, I would say. But Surya, Tilak Verma is injured for a few games. Nehal Vadera, Tim David have absolutely compensated for all the weaknesses. And it's really amazing to see that this is probably one of the weakest Mumbai sides, and they have still made it to the playoffs. So we can just imagine how they would be if they play at full strength.
Yeah, can't wait to lift that trophy for the sixth time again. But let's hope we get that bowling sorted. So my final book for emerging player is obviously Jaiswal again. I mean, it's not a brainer. I mean, even though we are talking him at the greatness level, but still, he's just starting his career. He's yet to earn his Indian cap, and I hope he does that well. So India has a really great, has this tendency of producing great openers from time to time. Like we've had some great opening pairs that we produced till now, and I guess Jaiswal will get his cap someday, and I think when he gets it, he'll make his country proud. Coming to the disappointments now, there were a lot of disappointments this season, so it was pretty tough to pick, two. But I would say I thought that my first disappointment would be Mayank Agarwal, because I thought that I don't know, I had this thing that he might perform this season, like he would be the X factor for SRH, giving that rush, because SRH had a really settled opening pairs in the last IPLs, like whether it was Bairstow, Warner, Dhawan, Warner Williamson. So they had that sort of opening pair which other teams dreaded, like because the only mantra there was get off to the quick starts, and I really hope that Mayank would be there giving that to them. But yeah, except in the last match against MI, but Mayank really struggled to take that innings off. I would still say that the team management should have backed him for the entire season, just give him all the 14 matches at that spot, not shuffling all that batting order and stuff and all. But yeah.
I do agree, and I won't blame a lot on Mayank Agarwal. The whole team has been plagued with instability, but still, I mean, a player of Mayank's caliber who has played IPL longer than people know, he should have, taken the responsibility. I would say to at least marshal SRH batting, which is really strong. It is not weak. I of course predicted them to make the finals, but I don't know. I never expected them to finish last. Moving on to dropping in batting standards, Deepak Huda, it has been an extraordinary season to see how he has failed. I mean, just like a few years back, he was in the Indian circuit, and all of a sudden, he's struggling to score runs in the IPL. I honestly don't know what went wrong with him. Probably it was his form. He maybe did not have a good domestic season. I'm not sure about that. But unlike Mayank Agarwal, Huda got a lot of chances and still did not capitalize on that. So I feel the onus is more on him than in the case of Mayank Agarwal. And there are simply no words. I mean, we can understand that Lucknow is backing their players, but to such an extent, and they still made it to the playoffs, which is which is amazing. So I feel Deepak Huda has been a huge disappointment this year.
Yeah, agreed. I guess it has shown in his bowling as well. When he didn't bowl that much, but maybe it really comes up. Maybe he should be clear where he wants to bat, how he wants to bat. Really. Uh, and my second disappointment is another opening batsman from Delhi Capitals, Prithvi Shaw. I mean, I just want to remind everybody, where before we were talking about Gill, there was Shaw. Shaw just debuted against West Indies and just hit back-to-back centuries in Test cricket, and he was reckoning that he's the next big thing, and nobody was even talking about Gill, even though both have played in the same team. And it's really strange to see how things change, suddenly. And I really expected Shaw to step up this season, that too. And I thought that with Warner by his side, I thought he would get more freedom to play at the top of the innings, but that didn't happen. Uh, you can say like he had a really poor footwork, but there is Virender Sehwag who really didn't have any footwork, but still used to trash ballers. So maybe it's something in his head that's not sitting right at this moment. So we really hope he bounces back next season.
Yes, we definitely do. And to be honest, Prithvi Shaw is that kind of a player where you definitely need to back him. Maybe Mayank Agarwal, he's not, he's quite different from Mayank Agarwal, I would say. If you back him, he's going to win you at least 2 to 3 matches, even if he fails 10 to 11 matches, which again, the Delhi Capitals team did not do. It's amazing how similar Delhi and SRH uh, were in the season. They had a really strong team, but they absolutely messed it up, I would say, in the team selection. I mean, we can talk on and on about both these teams' managements, which let's not go into that place now. But definitely, I mean, we saw how Prithvi Shaw scored a 50 in the last game of the tournament. Why don't you just back him? I don't understand what is the big deal. I mean, we know that he's a player who can single-handedly win you games, and he's not consistent, but just stick with him for one full tournament. Of course, provided he is not injured. And my final pick is Dinesh Karthik. Has been a very big disappointment. Not only the batting, but in the keeping as well. I mean, we saw that one small fumble that he did against LSG. Avesh Khan missed the ball. DK didn't collect it cleanly. Had he collected it cleanly, had he run out the player, that match would have gone to a super over. Maybe RCB would have won. Maybe RCB would have gone to the playoffs. Just small margins. His batting as well has been a disappointment. He has been the designated finisher. He did wonderfully well for RCB last season. He has failed to replicate it this year. But again, to be honest, the KGF has more than made up for his failure, I would say. But again, a player of Dinesh Karthik's caliber, you expect more from him, and this season has been way below par for him.
I mean, this really sums up DK's entire career. You get that glimpse, or you get that fire in one instance. I really remember before 2013 Champions Trophy, he hit two back-to-back centuries in practice matches, and everybody was like, DK would be the star of the tournament, and then he fizzled out. And the same thing happened in Nidas Trophy. The same thing happened in 2021's RCB's campaign. He had that thing, and then he suddenly falls off the radar and all. But I think I'm not sure like if RCB would be backing him any longer, or I think we might have seen the last of DK in RCB colors at least, or it would be a surprise if RCB backs him. So we have to see whether they're going to retain or release him.
So we have talked about the disappointments. Let's talk about something extraordinary, something amazing about comebacks. We have all written these players off, but then they come and do their magic. I'll start with none other than Ajinkya Rahane. It's absolutely amazing how he has transformed into this impactful T20 player, and we all know him as a standard Test match player. He has been with KKR, with Delhi Capitals in the few seasons. He has not got much chance. And ever since the start of IPL, Ajinkya Rahane has never been that sort of a swashbuckling player where he comes, hit sixes and fours and goes. He has always been that anchor player. But this season, when CSK bought him, I was not very happy. But of course, looking at his performances, it has been I have no words to say. Especially the two particular matches, one against three particular matches, I would say, one against Mumbai, one against KKR where CSK scored 235, and then that final where his two sixes were really useful. And not to mention that it's funny how performances in IPL, earns you calls to the World Test Championship. That's just the magic of IPL.
Yeah, that's a different end of spectrum. But Jinx was a certified test player. I mean, I don't think I'm not too unhappy with that call having Jinx back in the test squad, especially in the absence of Iyer, because you don't have a reliable middle order batsman there. Jinx has played in England conditions. But one particular shot stands out of me. I think rather two, I would say. So one is against MI, where he played the Tendulkar-esque straight drive. And I don't know. I feel really strange saying that, but I felt that I was seeing Tendulkar play that shot because I don't know. I felt that the helmet that and stuff and all the beard he had. I remember Tendulkar playing with a certain kind of poise and stuff and all, and that really stood. And the first six in the final, he just whipped it, and he was not hitting it hard. He was just placing it. He was just using the pace of the ball and he just whipped it. That was pure class. And yeah, no words. I'm really happy that he's back because being a captain of the side and then getting dropped and, struggling and then coming back, that's a real comeback story. Yeah. So talking about comebacks, let's talk about a spinner now that I'm really grateful that MI had, Piyush Chawla. I mean, I thought that he was just picked because we didn't have any spinner, and I guess I was discussing with Manish and Shantan, and we had our 11s, and I didn't even name Piyush Chawla because I thought that I never expected him to be in the playing 11, and what difference he made. I mean, 21, 22 wickets. Without him, I don't think MI would have been near the playoffs. Like he has got the wickets in when they are required. People are still finding it difficult to pick his googlies. So I think he still has got so much cricket left in him. I've listened. I think one of the post-match interviews that he gave, he said that he's playing for his son. Because when he was in his prime, his son was still not, not aware of the surroundings and not aware of cricket as a game. But he's playing for his son, and it's really heartwarming that there's still love for this game for him, for his son. I hope he has many great years ahead.
Yes, I do. And Piyush Chawla is one of the very underrated players, I would say. He has been since the starting of IPL. I remember in the few years he was with Kings 11 Punjab, where he was one of the key players, and then he moved to KKR. He won two trophies over there, scored the winning runs, and then all of a sudden he just drops off, and then one bad year with CSK. I remember he was there with MI also, and then he has made a comeback again. And uh, it's really good that people forgotten people are getting one like chance again at redemption, and they are proving themselves, right. And Piyush Chawla has been one of the most hardworking players, I would say, because being a spinner, he has played a lot of domestic cricket in Tamil Nadu too, because Tamil Nadu has a lot of spinning tracks. It's not always about being lucrative. It's about putting the hard work when it comes to the domestic circuit as well. And I feel that he really deserves this reward that he's getting. To another player, another comeback, another spinner, Varun Chakravarti. We all know that he's a mystery spinner, and mystery spinners don't last long. He has always been on and off. During the initial time when he was bought with a lot of hype, he didn't perform. But in the 2021 season, when KKR came to the finals, he had a huge part to play. And then last year, and then he was taken into the T20 World Cup, where India infamously lost to Pakistan by 10 wickets, lost to New Zealand, and then everybody started blaming why is this mystery spinner there? He has no mystery in him left. Last year's IPL was not great for him, but this year he has made a comeback. Don't expect mystery spinners to make comeback. You just think, okay, once their time is up, they're gone. But he has worked a lot. I saw one game against SRH. I think he was given the last over to bowl, and he defended it. You don't see spinners bowling the last over and defending them. So he has had an amazing IPL. If KKR had come to the playoffs, maybe he would have got more recognition. Him and Rinku Singh have been excellent for KKR, and I feel that he's proving people wrong about being a mystery spinner. I mean, it's not like when people figure you out, you are out. You can still find a way to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Varun C's story. I mean, it's a really heartwarming story, right? Leaving cricket, doing architecture, doing a job, and then finding out just playing. I mean, we hope that such things sort of happen to us, but it's like seeing us in these stories. But I think he mentioned that he was trying to flight the ball too much in the air previously, and obviously when you're giving a flight and you're not having turn, you bound to go to runs. But I think he reduced the flight in the air and is trying to ball wicket to wicket. So not trying too much, off the wicket, but just trying to be strictly line and length. Talking about my pick, the second pick for the comebacks is Mohit Sharma. I mean, how do you describe what Mohit Sharma he is going through right now? He was part of CSK and he had really, really great seasons with CSK. His slower balls haunted teams first seasons. Like nobody was able to pick him up. And then suddenly everybody picked him up. Everybody was trashing him, and then he was let go of CSK. Suddenly he was no IPL team was interested in picking him, and then he joins GT as a net bowler. Imagine playing for the biggest franchise and going to a new franchise and just being a net bowler. Uh, but you have to give it to him, for putting his ego aside. He could have just said that, it's fine. I'll just bide my time for another season. Hope some team will pick me up. But he just put that aside, and he just, he just accepted that net bowler thing, and then GT repaid that fate, giving him that slot, and then what a comeback, man. Like, I mean, it's really difficult for everybody to still pick those slower balls getting out of his hands. Yeah, I mean, even though the last over against Jadeja, I mean, the last two balls really doesn't define those things, but the first four balls were bang on, like were on this slot. People blame Hardik for disrupting his rhythm. He should have just let him ball and stuff and all. But I think he'll deliver a purple cap for GT soon.
It's amazing, Mohit Sharma's story. He was a purple cap winner with CSK. He was selected for the 2015 50 over World Cup, and then I don't know, maybe he got injured. He played for Punjab in 2018. I still remember he defended some 15-16 odd runs against Dhoni, who was rampant at the time. Same thing, he bowled his Yorkers brilliantly. And in this match, I was thinking, come on, Mohit. I mean, seriously. Why are you doing it against your former team? And then, luckily for CSK, unlucky for him, he couldn't deliver the last two balls. But again, like you said, that doesn't define his season, and he's been exceptional. And just like Piyush Chawla, to have that heart to drop your ego and work, not expecting anything in return. It's a life lesson for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really hope that he carries on for the same similar way for GT. Now, talking about bizarre decisions, I think we can make a separate video for this, for the decisions that the teams have made over the course of 2 months. But since we are sticking to four, so we are taking the four that has annoyed us, like really, really annoyed us. So my first pick is SRH. SRH as a team has been a joke, especially the management has been a joke. And the most bizarre decision that they have taken is, trying out 7 different opening pairs in a 14 match season. I mean, you should have bagged somebody. I never understood. Like, I remember one match, Abhishek Sharma, I think coming at that, he played well. And the next match, he was promoted as an opener, dropping the current openers. How could you justify those things? And I think Aidan Markram was asked why was Umran Malik not playing. Like, was he not fit? And the Markram said that no, he's fine, he's good, but I'm really not sure what's going in the at the back. And that really says, like, is the captain not being part of the team selection? Uh, SRH has been bogged by such kind of decisions since 2020. I mean, just one bad season, they've not picked David Warner. 2019, he was the top scorer for SRH. I think he won the orange cap in 2019, if I'm not wrong. And then 2020, he had a bad season, and then they just let him go. Like, I really don't understand the SRH team's mentality.
I mean, honestly, I don't know who to blame over here because it feels silly to blame Lara Stein and Muralidharan, who are probably the best cricketers, but are they really taking such poor decisions? I mean, it's absolutely flabbergasting me. We can't blame the owners because they have done their part. They have bought the players who the coaches should have recommended. I mean, if it's the other way around, then the IPL team is bound to fail. But on paper, they look really strong. And of course, I predicted them to come to the finals because on paper they look strong and they had actually won the SA20 Sunrisers Eastern game under Eden Markram's captaincy, and Eden Markram was made the captain of SRH because of that win. And I honestly expected something better from them, if not a 10th place finish, maybe a mid-table finish, or I honestly expected them to come to the playoffs. They didn't use the impact rule well, they didn't use their foreign players well. They did a lot of shuffling here and there, and it was a total mess everywhere. I mean, like you said, we can make a separate video on that, but we don't want to, keep pondering on stuff which we don't fully understand. And speaking of not understanding match shot, I mean, Kingsland Punjab, we are not talked about them in this video, but seriously, I mean, you have had so many good players like Kaiso Rabada, Sikandar Raza in your team, and why are you playing match shot? What is he offering in the team? I mean, I have seen glimpses of him in the BBL. Even in the BBL, he's not that great of a player, but they bring him as a replacement and they sit out Sikandar Raza, who's been one of the best all-rounders in the last 1 year. He did play a few games, and to be honest, he actually got a man of the match in one of the games he played. In one of the other games he played, he scored 3 runs in the last ball against CSK, remember? And then you are not picking him, you're playing match shot. Honestly, I mean, of course, and Nathan Ellis instead of Kaiso Rabada, that can be a debatable decision. But this decision of playing match shot ahead of Sikandar Raza, I don't understand. So that is my bizarre pick.
Yeah, and I think Kings 11 had this infamous thing of not qualifying for the playoffs in the last 9 seasons. The last time they qualified for playoffs was in 2014 against, yeah, and they lost against KKR in the final. And, the good thing about the great teams like CSK or MI or, the GT and etc. and all, they back the players. Even though they're having a rough patch, if they are in the 11, they'll back you for that season. At least that guarantee they give you. And there is no, I think it gets applied for both SRH and Kings. Like, if a player is performing well at a particular spot, let them stay at that particular spot, see what happens. Why are you just playing around with that? Why don't you, it's as if like the management doesn't want a consistent 11 to be playing. I can just I can convey my sympathies to both of these teams fan. I mean, just as an outsiders, like, we don't even support these teams and we get irked by these decisions. I can't imagine being a team supporter and getting irritated by all these calls. And talking about calls, uh, I think I would be too harsh, but I would say KKR's opening pairs are bizarre calls, I would say. And I had a really great hope with the coach because he has won the Ranji trophies for Karnataka. And I think he helped Madhya Pradesh also win a Ranji trophy. So I thought that he can be a great influencer, right? And I thought that KKR needed that, not having Iyer for the tournament, your designated captain, and then needing to find a new captain. But I feel that KKR missed out on some opportunities. They could have signed Shanaka I felt like Dasun Shanaka, he's a proper all-rounder and he's a slogger and he gives you that runs. Because and GT really didn't need Shanaka, to be fair. So they could have gone, and I thought that they could have signed Shanaka. I mean, Roy is not a bad replacement for sure. Like Roy is definitely not a bad replacement. But I felt that they could have gone with Shanaka. Maybe they would have gotten that extra bowling option as well. They might have missed the chance, and then Gurbaz playing Gurbaz initially was a good idea because I too expected, but then Gurbaz has a really great energy behind the stems, and he had quite a few good innings, but he was not consistent. And they've tried out the different opening pairs similar to SRH. I think they were just trying to see, or they're just using this season as a launch for the next season. But kudos for them for backing Rinku and Varun. I have to give it to them, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, KKR's batting has been, uh, uh, I wouldn't say disaster, but if not for Rinku Singh, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
But like you said, so many opening partnerships, so many permutations, combinations, and nobody is getting a chance to have that extended run to seal their place in the team. And this hasn't helped them. I mean, when you said that probably they're looking it for next season, how has this helped? Has this helped them take a decision? Okay, this is the path that we want to go to next season. I don't think it has. It has just confused everybody. And speaking of confusions, how come Quinton de Kock did not play in that eliminator? Honestly, I mean, Mumbai Indians does not have a great bowling, and Quinton de Kock is one of the best players in the power play, and he's the best, one of the best, big match players. And you sit him out. I mean, is he injured? Nobody even bothered to ask if de Kock was fit or not. He was just dropped. I mean, before the match, I've seen a lot of experts debating whether it should be Kyle Mayers or Naveen Ullah who should play, and both of them played, and de Kock was dropped. I mean, honestly, if that was one match that Quinton de Kock absolutely had to play, it was that match because it was a big match. It was the eliminator. That was their last chance against a weak Mumbai bowling, and they decided to drop him. And I think they got all out for 103. It was absolutely shambolic.
Well, if De Kock was available from the start of the tournament, we wouldn't have even having the talking about this because he would have been in the starting 11, and I don't think Kyle Myers would have gotten a chance at all. And I think Lucknow just got confused a bit, or because I think in the post match, Krunal was asked this question, like why Myers ahead of De Kock, and he said that Myers had a better playing record in Chepauk. And I really didn't understand that. Myers might have played what, one or two matches in Chepauk, and you're talking about De Kock, who has been playing IPL since 2018, 2017. And he has been a go-getter for MI at his time in MI. And he would have definitely would have wanted to, score some runs against his former team. And then you're dropping them out. So that's really bizarre. And one more thing that I have, I think we've not mentioned this, but one more thing I want to speak about is Krunal Pandya's captaincy. Uh, I mean, he agreed that him getting out was not on, that shot was not on. But I think Krunal promoting himself one down, I don't think it's really justifiable.
Yes, I mean, honestly, that particular Krunal as a captain, if you look at his record, that was the only match that he lost since he took the captaincy from KL Rahul. One match against CSK was washed out, but then after that, I think the eliminator was the only match he lost. But again, you have to blame Krunal for the decisions that was taken, dropping the call, promoting him up the order when you had Stoinis and Puran who were in the form of their lives. If someone had to chase the total, it should have been them. And I don't know. I mean, probably it was just not meant for Lucknow, but it was on them those decisions which cost them many.
So yeah, so that has been our picks of all the different categories. Now, if you have any other picks, or if you think that there were other players we should have spoken about, please mention in the comment section. And then and please like, share, and subscribe to Sportzian.